a service of CNC Worldwide.
We've received phone calls from not only our own concerned residents, but also residents from across the great state and nation. We, too, are outraged by the behavior of this group of students and want to emphasize that the actions of a few do not reflect our community as a whole. The town of Greece is a community of nearly 100,000 of people who are kind, respectful neighbors, and hardworking people. Greece Central School District is one of 3 districts which serve our community. All 3 districts have extraordinary students who are doing great things inside and outside their classroom on a daily basis. The Greece Central School District, our own Greece Police Department are working together to obtain evidence and review all the information so that the appropriate action will be taken in this dreadful incident. The Greece Police Department, the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and the victim will make the final determination as to whether any criminal charges will be filed now or in the future, which we will address in a minute. With regards to disciplinary actions, the town government does not have jurisdiction over this Greece School District with regard to any resulting discipline, and those determinations rest solely with the district and the school board. I also want to take this opportunity to commend Karen Klein for her strength and courage in having to endure such treatment. Her response to their bullying is an example of the type of people which make our community great. The outpouring of care and concern that she has received from our community towards her is indicative of the depth and breadth of this great town, not the actions of those aboard Bus 784.
Good afternoon. I am deeply saddened and embarrassed by the actions demonstrated recently by some of my students. I am sorry Karen has been subjected to this kind of student behavior. I am working with Captain Chatterton and an investigator from the Greece Police Department, as well as our head of security at the Athena campus and district leadership to investigate this matter and to determine each student's specific role. Disciplinary actions to the fullest extent will be taken against all those involved. Having been born and raised in Greece, a graduate of Greece Athena, and now the principal at Athena Middle School, I, alongside my colleagues, are driven to educate and support our students. I am working to ensure that my students are successful, have the appropriate study habits and skills, and are respectful, responsible, and productive both in the classroom and in the greater community. At this time, I ask for your support and understanding that we are doing everything we can to understand the events that occurred and that the district is working to address this issue with all staff to make sure an incident like this does not happen again. Thank you, and at this time I'll turn it over to Captain Chatterton.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Captain Steve Chatterton with the Greece Police Department. This afternoon I brought with me Sergeant Vocal, who has been assigned to the case, along with Lieutenant Henderson, who is the head of our Criminal Investigations Division. I also brought Mike Augustinelli, who's the head of security at Athena. He's a retired police officer, and he assisted us in this investigation. I'm sure you'll have questions for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the police department has done and where we're at this point, and then I'm going to turn it over to the school district, and I'll come back up for questions, and if you've got questions of the detectives, we'll be happy to answer them. We became aware of this yesterday morning, early in the morning, between 6 and 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, and we took immediate actions to contact the school and first verify the video and verify that we had Greece students involved. We immediately assigned a detective to the case, and the head of criminal investigations, Lieutenant Henderson, was also assigned to the case to make sure that the case was handled appropriately, because we realized what the video contained and how unique and unusual it was, and obviously we are upset by what we saw in the video, both as parents and police officers. We worked with the school district right away, and we were able to authenticate that the video was were Greece students, and we were also able to verify that the Greece students all involved were 7th graders, which make them about 13 years old. We received a ton of community outpour and upset comments from people around the world, but I'd like to explain some of the difficulties that we encountered in the investigation. In New York State, In order to charge a 13-year-old in family court, you have to rise to the level of a crime, which means a misdemeanor or a felony. In New York State, harassment is actually a violation. So those were some of the things that we had to deal with, and we consulted heavily with the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and us as a command staff struggled with. So we're still working on that as to whether this rose to the level of a crime, which would be a misdemeanor, or a felony, which we would need to charge the juveniles in family court. And that's where you would charge juvenile, you would charge them in family court. I can tell you that we were able to identify all four individuals involved, and we have spoken to all four individuals and their families. Not only have we spoken with them, they've been cooperative, and they have come in voluntarily, have not requested counsel, and they've taken responsibilities for their actions. As one father put it, his son is sitting back waiting for his punishment. So no one has denied accountability, and they're taking responsibilities for their actions. We did talk to the victim this morning at length, and we explained her options, and we explained how the police department has handled the case. And as everybody in here knows, she's very likable. She's very, she's the type of one you just want to give a hug to. But we were able to explain to her her options. And one of the things in prosecution is the victim has to be able to make the decision as how they want to handle it. It's not a felony. The school district cannot press charges for the victim. She has to decide whether that case. At this point, within the last hour, she has decided she's very happy with the route the case is going through the school district. And at this time, I have to emphasize, at this time, she's decided she does not want to press criminal charges if they were able to be pressed. She's happy with the school district response, and we're leaving it open so that she can change her mind at a later time. But again, at this time, she's decided she does not want to proceed with criminal charges